Hi again everyone, Scott Pyre, Pop Cult Fan here, and in this video, now that I've seen Spider-Man No Way Home a couple times, I'm actually going to be seeing it again tomorrow with my buddy Sean, and I think that it's about time now that I freaking rank the actors that have played the characters these past 20 years. Now, I'm not going to spoil anything for Spider-Man No Way Home, so I'm just going to be judging Tom Holland, Tobey Mcguire, and Andrew Garfield and their versions of their characters. And, you know, sort of do a versus, I guess you could say. So, with Tom Holland's portrayal as a character, like I've said in my Spider-Man No Way Home review, he easily gives the best performance in Spider-Man No Way Home. It's easily the best performance he has done out of all of his appearances throughout the MCU, and now that I've really grown to appreciate and get attached to his character, I can easily say that Tom Holland is probably my second favorite actor that has played Spider-Man, and obviously my number one is Tobey Mcguire, because, you know, I grew up watching those movies. You know, I have nostalgia and a lot of personal attachment towards Tobey Mcguire's version of the character. I think he had the best portrayal as Peter Parker, even to this day, and even though there were some aspects of his portrayal as Spider-Man that weren't as quippy as, say, Andrew Garfield or Tom Holland, his Spider-Man was definitely the more brutalist, brutal, with some of his combat style, especially in that first film, whenever he fought Green Goblin, especially at the very end of that film, and just seeing the emotional weight and the journey of Tobey Mcguire's version of the character from the first film all the way to the third, and just that overall arc. It's definitely that version of Peter Parker that is easily the best out of all three of these actors. And then you going into, you know, Andrew Garfield's version of the character, his version of Peter Parker, he was a bit of an outcast, I guess you could say. He didn't feel like Peter Parker in a sense that he didn't feel like a nerd. He just seemed like a kind of a cool guy riding a skateboard down the hall, just kind of, you know, being a bit of a troublemaker in that way. And I don't know, his version of Peter Parker is different. He just, you know, it didn't quite feel like Peter Parker. And then when Andrew Garfield is Spider-Man, you know, that's great. Like, his portrayal as Spider-Man, easily, I like it a little bit more to a certain extent than Tobey Mcguire's, because he was a little bit more quippy, a little bit more, I liked a lot of his moments as Spider-Man, especially wearing the suit, and a lot of his action scenes, just how fluid and how spider-like his combat style was, fighting the Lizard and the other villains in Amazing Spider-Man 2. I just really liked that aspect of the character and how different it was compared to Mcguire's version of Spider-Man. And so yeah, like, between Tobey Mcguire and Andrew Garfield, I liked Tobey Mcguire's Peter better, and I liked Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man better. And then going with Tom Holland's version of the character, I think he does a really great job portraying this nerdy teenager, and also being that same kind of quippy version of Spider-Man. And his combat style as his version of Spider-Man is kind of like the Marvel Spider-Man PS5 game, in a way, with the way he was web swinging at the end of Far From Home, and also in No Way Home, and just with some of the aspects of his version of Spider-Man that kind of reminded me of the Spider-Man PS5 game, which is, you know, it's unique and different compared to the previous actors, and overall it's something that I really enjoyed as his version of Spider-Man. And I'm hoping that, you know, if they do make another Spider-Man film with Tom Holland, I'm hoping that it'll be a little bit more friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, just, you know, fighting his own regular villains than just being this grand multiverse story. It doesn't always have to be like that. With the MCU Spider-Man, it can be grounded to an extent similar to the Tobey Mcguire films, where he's just fighting his villains, like Scorpion. Like they tease Scorpion at the end of Homecoming, and it'll be interesting to see his character return. Maybe even Kraven the Hunter. You know, I just kind of want to see Tom Holland's version of Spider-Man, just, you know, doing what he does as a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, fighting crime on the streets. I think that would be rather interesting for a fourth film if they make another one, and I'm pretty sure they will. So yeah, if I had to pick like a favorite actor out of all three, I might I guess Andrew Garfield. I think he's the best actor that has played the character, just with the acting range that Andrew Garfield has had, especially ever since TASM 2. I've seen him in a few other films other than the Spider-Man films, and he's a great actor. I think he's easily the best actor that has portrayed the character to a certain extent, with the emotion and the emotional gut-wrenching moments that he has had in his Amazing Spider-Man films. I thought was great. And I don't want to spoil No Way Home, but it was definitely something worth a watch. So yeah, that should do it for this video. Just kind of doing a bit of a discussion, talking about all three of these actors. And if I had to pick a favorite, oh, that's hard. I guess Tubby Mcguire, he's still my favorite, but also Tom Holland, definitely up there, my second favorite, and Andrew Garfield, my third. So that should do it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace.